Good morning, everybody. It's Teepa, and I have guests with me today. It's Ted and Christy Obenauer. And Ted is the reason we're here. Some of you may or may not know Ted is an amazing human being with quite a rich history of leadership and executive abilities, who is now living with some brain changes that have changed everything pretty much and made life really sort of different than it used to be. But Ted, being the amazing human being that he's always been, didn't just let it be about him. When he experienced things, he figured them out and generated something, and then generated something else. And then when we thought, because we all thought it, Christy will admit, Christy's Ted's wife, by the way, we all thought Ted was nearing the end of his life. We thought it was all going to be done and over and finished because that's how it looked, that's how it felt, because Ted lives with Lewy body. Lewy body's tricky. It almost takes you away and then brings you back because we're not done yet. Um, we worked with Ted because he had done this amazing thing. And we have a book that Ted generated and then regenerated to make a difference.
Right.
So, Ted, talk to us a little bit about the book. Let's see the book.
Well, let's start with the first one.
This is the second book.
Yeah, the first
That's
book,
how we ended. This is how you started.
This is where I started, and it was about my personal journey,
Yeah.
into dementia. And what I found was after I, like a lot of people, went to the doctor, I had a lot of questions, and I didn't get those questions answered by the doctor. And going to Dr. Google didn't get me any more answers. And so I did a lot of research. That's just kind of in my habit. I'm not only an executive, but I've done a lot of research in my life. I've led a lot of projects, and to learn how to do those, I am not a rocket science, even though I've led rocket science. And to come up to speed on that, you have to do a lot of research to be able to talk to people that actually do have 2 and 3 PhDs. And but going back to dementia, I found that a lot of the information that was out there was largely for doctors or clinicians. And unfortunately, that didn't help me. And so through my research, I ended up writing it down and started a website to help other people learn what I've learned. And that's the genesis of this book. Okay.
So the first version was really taking your website content and creating it more into a book, which is how you got where you were.
That's right.
Right.
And it tried to answer the question, what's that journey like? Now, I personally did not want dementia to be the end of my life. I did not want that to be the end of all things. And so I wanted to have it to be more, I wanted my journey to help others.
Legacy.
Yeah, I wanted people to know how to go from here. And so, and again, like I said, it came from the website, but with Teepa's help, and her team's help, I realized that my book wasn't telling all. It wasn't getting me to where I needed to be. And I learned that some people hear from a feel from in their own selves that they have something wrong, right? Something's not right.
Something's not working like it should. This is not me. I know how to do this. Why can't I do this? It's crazy.
And that was where I started from. I started from that exact idea.
Yep.
I went to the doctor and said, "Hey, doc, that at that time I was running the Hubble Space Telescope. I had 400 people working for me, and I went to him and said, "Look, it's just not right, and I need your help." And so he put me on some medication, and but at the same time, it still didn't improve.
Right.
And so
Oh, just real quick, Ted. At first, did he think it was dementia? Or did he think it was anxiety or sleep disturbance, or he thought something was going on, compromising, but could be fixed?
he really didn't say. He just said, "I think you
Ah,
should take this medication. This will help." Uh,
gotcha.
he
Okay,
did.
sort of
He
the
did.
mystery
He
drug.
didn't put
Okay.
a name on it. I think he was afraid of putting a name on it, because he
Okay.
was afraid that I would put a name on it.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't until I went to Cleveland Clinic that a name got put on it.
Okay, so
Uh,
you went to a specialist then, and they said, "Oh, here's what you got." And then at that moment, by the way, boom, your life as you know it is about to be over or just different. What
very,
did they
very,
say?
very different.
Did they
Because
say different? Or did they say, well, you're not going to be able to do what you used to be able to do?
Well, they not only put a name on it, but they told me that the type of dementia that I had
Mhm.
was the worst, or
Oh, great.
near the worst. It had a life expectancy that could be as anywhere from 5 to 7 years.
Wow. Huh.
And so that, of
That was
course,
2020.
yes, that was 2020. And I've obviously outlived that,
Wait,
or close
wait.
to outlived
There's
that.
something wrong with this. Ted, you're gone. What's wrong with you?
I
What are you
should
still
be
doing
gone
here?
by now.
That's right.
And of course, that definitely teed me into research. My
Mhm.
darling wife here also got me in with hospice. And
Mhm.
hospice,
Because you had given up by then. I mean, it's
I,
sort
I
of like
really
you were
had.
on a lot of meds, you were in a lot of pain, there were a lot of things happening, and still you came through that.
I did. Yes.
And it changed
Um,
everything because what they did is they stopped a lot of your meds.
they did. They stopped all my meds. They stopped my meds and put me on a whole bunch more.
Different
And
ones.
I was those meds cause their own trouble, as many people know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but I did finish the book. I did get it out there, and I did get the website out there, which
Yeah.
was, I kind of felt like at that point I had completed my journey.
Because this was just for people living with dementia initially in your
Mhm.
Right,
mind. That's who you were doing it for because that was the missing piece. But when we worked with you, we thought, but hang on here. There are other people who need this. And it's not just for
right.
people living with dementia, because there are care partners out there, there are spouses out there, there are friends out there, there are professionals out there who need to realize once you have a condition, it doesn't mean it stops. It does change, but you got to
No,
figure it out.
in
It's a
fact, I
process.
in fact I had friends that came to me and said, I have what is it with help me.
Parkinson?
No, no. I have Parkinson's.
Um,
I have
Alzheimer's?
no, not
Alzheimer's, dementia,
no, no. With the hands are sore, or hurt.
arthritis.
Arthritis. Thank you.
Good
Oh,
job.
sorry. I
No,
have
that's good. You've
arthritis.
worked it out.
Yeah, yeah, I have arthritis, and I'm in a lot of pain.
Mhm.
And I read your book, and it gave me a lot of things that
Ah,
I can do, and my wife and I can do, that
cool.
helps us. And it's not so. Thank you very
It's
much.
not just, yeah, it's not just dementia specific. It's beyond, it's
Yeah,
when something happens and you
right.
can't fix it.
That's
And you got to
exactly.
figure out what are you going to do with it.
And so so from that thank you, I realized I needed to look at this book differently.
Hmm.
And then I realized that there's three things that the book needs to address. And that is, one, I think something's wrong, and
Hmm.
I need some help to figure out what that is. Whether,
Yep.
no matter if it's dementia, or if it's um, Alzheimer, or if it's um, uh, um, And I just said it.
Could be just depression, could be
Yeah.
anxiety, but
Yeah,
whatever it
depression,
is,
something in
I
my
need to do
brain,
something different.
something in my body or something in my brain is
Something's not right.
right.
Yeah.
And or second, my doctor says, you have something wrong. We want to work on that. We're gonna
Got to
do a
figure it out.
series
We're
of
going to
tests.
work it up.
Right.
Yep.
And let's face it, doctors like to run a lot of tests.
They do. But your third group is the one that, yep, you got it.
That's right. The third group
Yeah.
is the doctor says you have
Yeah.
brain damage, right? And that largely came about, and that's where I came to.
That's
The doctor did an MRI, and in that MRI, he saw what's called white matter, and in that they can see that there is literally some type of brain damage.
change.
Yeah, some change to my brain.
And then we've agreed there's a fourth, which is you're past all that, but you're still trying to figure things out because
That's
you're
right.
still always being trying to figure things out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you got to go back and you got to
Right.
look again. Okay, so where were we again?
Yeah,
And this text and this, we've done something. We've had it available for a bit, but we've expanded it and we're
That's right.
making it more available. And you and we have reduced the price on it,
That's
because
right.
the goal is not to make money. The goal is to get it out there and make it available. So if we reduce the price, it's available on Amazon, and it's also now an ebook. So you don't even have to get the paper book. You could get the ebook. And we sincerely believe that it is so helpful, and it is unusually helpful for different groups of people. And if you don't have it, you should get it.
Right.
It's a great way to do this thing we call living through the change and getting to the other side.
And the change for me was having a purpose, right? Okay, so I wanted myself to have a purpose, and I believe that other people could also have a purpose, right? Whether it was, in my case, I wanted to write this book, but it didn't have to be just that. It could be spending more time with your grandchildren, more time with church, more time with other organizations. There's lots of things that constitute having a purpose.
So living into your purpose, whether you have dementia, whether you have arthritis, whether you have whatever time you have, and whatever you have, we are advocating. And this book does a marvelous job of providing opportunities to look at things differently and to explore.
And that's why the title changed, right? You can see the title now is Moving Beyond Acceptance to Finding Purpose, right? And that's why the title changed, because we wanted that to be the center of what you were looking for, is finding purpose, right? And when you find purpose, your whole life can change, right?
Absolutely. And so can the lives of others. That's more to the point.
Right. We've reduced the price of the book.
Right. And we want, because we're not trying to make money off of this.
No.
Number two, we made another change. We made the font bigger, because we wanted it easy to read.
Easy to read.
The pictures, color, right? Because we wanted visual for you to be there. And we changed it into 3 sections. One section talks about, hey, I think I got a problem, but I don't know what it is. So that's section 1.
So you can approach it as you're approaching it, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to read the whole thing. You can get to the parts that are the key parts for you at any moment in time.
That's right. The second section is about, hey, the doctor said, I think something's wrong. We're going to do some more testing. And that's the second section. And you're going to want to know more yourself, but you don't know the answer, and neither does the doctor.
You're still exploring.
And the third section is the doctor has said, you have you have one of these things. You have dementia, you have Lewy body, you have
you've got your message.
Alzheimer's, what have you, right? But now what do I do, right? And that's what the third section is about.
That's what the third is about.
right?
Yeah.
Third section is about, okay, where do I go from here? Now I've
What
been
am I gonna
told
do
that I
now?
have this.
Yeah.
Where do I go? Right?
Okay, cool.
So that's what the book is all about. And it's not just for people that have Alzheimer's or have
Correct.
a brain disease.
Yeah.
That's why we worked with Teepa, because we wanted it to be with a group of books that if you have something else that you want to learn about, it's not just in my library or
Right.
my website, it's in Teepa's website and Teepa's library,
Or
right?
it's on Amazon because they got a lot more than I have.
Right.
But the idea of us doing this together is that for us, people living with dementia aren't a sidebar. They're the
No,
reason we do what we do.
and I don't know what the count is, Teepa, but how many books do you have in your library?
Oh,
30?
yeah, we have
35?
about 30.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
at
got a
least.
few.
Right.
Yeah,
So, and then
we
there's
got a
more
few. We
out
got
there.
lots of video,
Yeah, and lots of video.
Which is sometimes.
And we have and there's lots of video, and we can direct you to other sites. If none of that hits the mark, we can tell you where to go, right?
and
Either
we're happy to do that because we know that people will have questions beyond the obvious.
none of
So, for those of you out there who are curious and interested and want to check out Teb's website, do that. If you want to know about the book, look on Amazon, come to our website. If you have an additional question you want to explore, some of it may be asking about Ted, put it in the chat. We'll get up with you. We'll get back to you because we hear what you say.
one
So,
last thing is I
yes,
don't
sir.
care what almost we have. One last thing is we have probably a dozen languages that this is printed in. Okay. And so this is not just limited to English,
English. Yeah, that's a
right?
good point too, Ted. Yeah,
We want people for all around the world to be able to read this.
good.
And I would love doctors from all around the world to read it too.
Well, if we can get their attention, yay!
Hey.
Because maybe then when someone is coming into the office, rather than just saying, this is it, they could go, oh, here, by the way, here's a resource I want you to get familiar with. I think it's going to be important for you.
Nobody's a goner, right? We
Nobody.
believe, and we firmly believe that. So
Absolutely.
with that in mind, please don't give up. Find and believe in your purpose, and look to Teepa and to me, or to any of the books that are out there in Teepa's library, that you can find a real purpose for you. Because I believe everyone has a purpose.
Just got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Ted, Christy, thank you.
You're welcome.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
So many things.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.